my name is Mélissa and I am your Arts for All teaching artist. In this next series of videos, we will be looking at the book, Giraffes Can't Dance. We'll be exploring rhythm and syllables, different dance styles, and we'll even get to learn a little bit about Africa. Before we start, let's warm up our bodies. As we warm up, feel free to copy me as best you can. If you need to change any of the movements to feel more comfortable in your own body, go ahead and do that. Make sure that you're staying safe in your space. Start by reaching over to one side and stretch. Stretch to one side and stretch over. Reach to the other side. Reach and stretch. Then bend your knees and open your arms wide. And twist. And twist. Again, reach and stretch. Reach and stretch. And to the other side, reach and stretch. Reach and stretch. Bend your knees and open your arms wide. And twist. To the other side, twist. Now look up to the ceiling. Look down to your toes. Look up to the ceiling. Look down to your toes. To the ceiling, to your toes. To the ceiling, to your toes. Ceiling, toes, ceiling, toes, ceiling, toes, ceiling, toes. Now nod your head. Say yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Look over one shoulder. Look over your other shoulder. Look over one shoulder, over your other shoulder. Look from shoulder to shoulder, shoulder to shoulder. Look from shoulder, 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 shoulder. Shake your head. Say no. And roll your shoulders back. Roll your shoulders. Roll those shoulders. And now, let's move our shoulders in the other direction. Move your shoulders forward. Roll your shoulders forward, forward. And now let's move your shoulders like a bicycle. Move your shoulders in opposite directions. And switch directions. Bicycle your shoulders the other way. Now we're going to move our chest to the front, to the side, to the back, to the other side. We're isolating our chest and coming back to center each time. Front, center, side, center, back, center, side, center. Front, side, back, and side. Front, side, back, side. Front, side, back, side. Front, side, back, side. Now let's move our hips. We're going to hip bump in one direction 8 times. Then we'll hip bump the other direction 8 times. Then 4 times each way. 4 times. Then we'll hip bump 2 times in each direction. 2 times. Then 1 hip bump in each direction. Ready? We'll go 8, 4, 2, then 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Now shake it out. Shake your entire body. Shake your hands, your feet, your head, your face. Shake, 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 shake. Now we're going to do some call and response rhythms. I will sound out and clap a rhythm. Watch and listen for me, and then I'll give you the cue when it's your turn to repeat it. Repeat as best you can. Ready? Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. Ba 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 ba. 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 Bop, bop. Nicely done. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll come back to call and response rhythms at another time. Now it's almost time to start reading the book Giraffes Can't Dance. The book is set in a jungle in Africa. Before we start reading, let's learn and think a bit about Africa. What do you know about Africa? Africa is a continent. I live on the continent of North America in the United States in New York City. Africa is a big continent. It's so big that the United States could fit inside of Africa 4 times. There are lots of countries in Africa, over 50. And there's lots of different kinds of landscapes. There's deserts and jungles and rivers and mountains. Some places it's very hot, and some places it gets very cold. There's lots of different places in Africa. This map shows the different kinds of land in Africa. The green part are where the jungles might be. So that's a clue of where the story, Giraffes Can't Dance, might take place. There are also beaches in Africa and cities. There are highways and trains and buses and museums and theaters. As you can see, there are lots of different kinds of places and land in Africa. But our story takes place in the jungle in Africa. And now we know that it could be on any place on this map that is green. All right, let's dive into the book.
Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim. But his knees were awfully crooked and his legs were rather thin. Can you make your neck long like a giraffe? He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees. But when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. Gerald is very clumsy. Now, every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance, where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad, because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. The warthogs started waltzing, and the rhinos rock and rolled. The lions danced a tango that was elegant and bold. The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely and walked toward the floor. But the lions saw him coming, and they soon began to roar. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald," the animals all sneered. Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool. Oh, Gerald, you're so weird. Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. They're right, he thought. I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clod. So he crept off from the dance floor and he started walking home. He'd never felt so sad before. So sad and so alone. Then he found a little clearing and he looked up at the sky. The moon can be so beautiful, he whispered with a sigh. Excuse me, coughed a cricket who'd seen Gerald earlier on. But sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song. Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves had started shuffling. Can you shuffle your hooves? Making circles on the ground. Can you make circles on the ground with your feet? His neck was gently swaying, and his tail was swishing around. He threw his legs out sideways, and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leapt up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful. His mouth was open wide. I'm dancing! Yes, I'm dancing! I'm dancing, Gerald cried. Then, one by one, each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him, quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream! Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen! How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how." But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. We all can dance, he said, when we find music that we love. Here is something to think about and talk about once this video ends. Which character in the book would you want to be most like? Is it the jungle animals? Or maybe the cricket? Is it Gerald? Why? Let's take 3 deep breaths together. Thanks for joining!